Hello there. It's feeling fresh because this is something new. It's a Wednesday. It's the 26th of February. What do you think of this piece of art? I absolutely love it. A bit of wall art. It looks like we're in San Francisco. My wife and I went to San Francisco a few years back. Interesting city. To those of you who have ever been to San Francisco, let me know what you think of San Fran. Lots of energy, lots of vibe, but lots of weird stuff also happening. But the one thing that stood out was the wall art. So nice, fresh graphic there. Thanks to the team in India that are helping me with this stuff. I absolutely love it. I think it looks really cool. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know. All right. It is also Champions Trophy, guys. As we know, Afghanistan, England facing off. It's in the pool of South Africa and Australia, which had a rain-affected match, 1 point each there. So it puts so much more emphasis on the result today. Everyone is on the edge of their seats, waiting to see, will there maybe be an upset? Can Afghanistan pull it off? Or will England be too strong, who lost the first game against Australia? So a little bit of pressure there, but England, all in all, a really good team. Can't see them getting stopped unless we see some magic from the big guys from Afghanistan, the Rashid Khans, the Noor Ahmeds, the Nabis, Gurbas. The list goes on. Amazing players. They've come a long way as a team and demanded respect in the last few years as they paved their way into the international cricket scene with a team that's really of high quality these days. So it's all to play for there. Afghanistan, one worry for them, the net run rate. As we know, Australia and South Africa on 3 points each now, so the net run rate might come into play at some stage, maybe not. We'll see how they go and what happens. It's a bit of a blessing in disguise, I think, for South Africa. Australia is a really strong team. I still would have rated our chances to play a good game against Australia, but if you look at this log, I really like that extra point they got there. To be on 3 seems to be a big advantage considering their net run rate as well of 2.14. Quickly touch on the top group there. New Zealand, India looking really strong, both back-to-back wins for them. Bangladesh, Pakistan under huge pressure. And they need to make a move really soon there because they're running out of time. Actually, they've already run out of time. Now that I'm looking at the log, New Zealand, India already qualified for the semi-final. So let's take one question quickly. As Aditya, thanks for your question. With Australia's recent match against South Africa being washed out, how do such interruptions affect the team's momentum? So generally, it does have an effect, but in such a short tournament as the Champions Trophy, and I think Virat alluded to that after his 100th the other day. By the way, Virat, you little beauty! What an amazing knock. I'm so happy for him. He worked really hard for that, and he was very, very amped to go and score some runs. I could see the disappointment in that Bangladesh dismissal, so I was very happy with this, and I actually have a video that I can't share because I'm not going to tell you why I can't share it, but I took a video of my family when Virat got his 100th, and I sent it to him, and the pure joy in their faces as Virat got to 100th is absolutely priceless. Very, very happy for him. But back to the point, guys. Champions Trophy is a very short tournament, and Virat mentioned after that knock when he was asked, so now you have a week off, now what? Is that a bad thing? And Virat said, thank goodness, I can go and rest a bit. So it's a short tournament, and momentum doesn't play as big a factor as it would in the IPL, where there's 14 to 16 games, or in the ODI 50 over World Cup, where it's a long tournament. The Champions Trophy is boom, boom, quick, quick. I mean, there are 2 teams in the semi-finals already. The tournament just started. So it's all about who arrives on the day. And if you can have a 5-day break or 4-day break and go into intense training and hit that next game, it's a bit of a bonus, I would say. If you can sort of keep the group together, do a lot of fun activities, I would say. So for the Proteas, usually they would play a bit of football or beach volleyball, water volleyball. So you get a net across a swimming pool and you play a bit of volleyball there and do some fitness together as a team. So, I think it's a good thing. And momentum, yes, it plays a role, and you want to feel like you're in good form. But both these teams, Australia and South Africa, had a really good start in the tournament. South Africa against Afghanistan, Australia against England. Afghanistan is a very tricky game, and a team that would definitely thought they had a really good chance against what was a relatively inexperienced South African team that's performed fairly well, I must say, against all the odds over the last few years. So South Africa had a really good game then, and obviously Australia. What a wonderful chase there against England. Josh Inglis with that 100 and Maxi finishing off on a 200 strike rate at the back end there. For those of you who don't know, my two boys in my last couple of seasons at the IPL grew very fond of Glenn Maxwell. So he's like a hero in my house. They love watching him play. And I told them, boys, I'll see the England and Australia game is up there. This team of mine is just too good over there in India. The minute I mention something, these graphics just magically appear. It's nice to work like that. Anyway, Australia went one down, and they asked me, "Is Maxi coming in now?" So I said, "No. He doesn't bat at 3. Relax." So the second wicket went down. Same question. Dad, wicket's down. Is Maxi coming in? I'm like, boys, he's a finisher. All right, he's not an innings bowler. So I told them, but there's one thing I can guarantee you. England's got a very big score here. What was it? 351. If Australia's got to come close, I promise you Maxi will be there at the back end, and he's probably going to get a not out. So they were very chuffed with Dad's predictions, as Maxi played a big role in really taking a lot of pressure off the whole Australian team with that quick fire 30-odd he got there at the back end. What a wonderful chase, and talking about momentum, there's good momentum they took from this game. All right, tell me about Virat Kohli's century. Pritam, let me tell you about it. I am coaching my boys these days. That's what I'm doing. I'm a full-time dad and cricket coach in the backyard of my garden. So I've been talking to them a lot, and it's so nice to have someone like Virat Kohli to fall back on when I want to showcase something. So it's nice that Dad has all this information, but they don't really want to know that I did that. So they want to know that someone else that's playing right now is doing that. So I could always just go to Virat. Of course, the basics we did were very similar. We wouldn't look the same necessarily on the television screen, but when we hit the ball, we would hit it nice and late, compact, under the eyes level with the ground. So when Virat scored this 100, we were all stuck in front of this television screen on the couch. We didn't move. Especially in that 90s, I told them, you sit down. I don't care if you want to go to the loo or drink water, you are sitting. And they found that quite funny. But anyway, it was so nice. Some of those highlight shots or replays, they did it in such great slow motion. So credit to the cameraman there at the Champions Trophy. Some of those cover drives from Virat, a couple of them were on the up as well. And you simply cannot pull that off if your technique is not spot on. And for those of you who have watched the From AB to 360s, I spoke about this right forearm. Do yourself a favor, go and look at Virat Kohli's cover drives and look at what his forearm does, how that stays on top of the blade. Let me show you quickly on a live session. But when he drives, this forearm is almost touching his blade there. It's absolutely amazing. Some players do that and they sort of lose their shape. But Virat, he just check drives it, boom, and he gets this forearm, his right forearm, right on the blade, which means this blade is always angled, and that is one way of making sure you never play the ball early, because you simply cannot do that. Your body will and your brain will tell you something is wrong when you're going early with this forearm. And then those eyes are solidly parallel to the ground. So he is the best guy to go to if you want to show your kids what the technique should look like. And I mean, he looked more compact than ever. He did that forearm on the blade thing, even with the wider stuff. And I wish he would do that in the 5-day test matches, because you wouldn't nick off. Because the minute you're a bit wider with this arm on top of the blade, your brain will sort of give you that signal as to you are on top of it or you're not. And if you're not on top of it, you get out of the way, you let it go. I'm on top of it, stay on top of it, get it down on the ground, get your 4. So simply amazing innings. I know he was under a bit of pressure. I know he felt frustrated over the last while. But only the toughest will survive, right? And you can't keep a good man down. So welcome back, Mr. Virat Kohli. It's great to see you scoring hundreds. And what a great 100 that was, because it wasn't an easy total. It was a tricky total to chase down, not a monumental one. But they needed someone like Virat Kohli to control the innings for India, which he did 12 out of 10. So well done, Biscuit. Very proud of you there. As we look at the score, I spoke about that tricky total, 241. Never easy to chase because you don't quite know Should we go hard? Should we pull back? Do we need to build? Do we need to apply the pressure, absorb? It sometimes is a bit confusing and tricky, and especially with the spinners in the middle overs, it's very difficult to figure out what kind of pace you should be going at. What's the rhythm of the game? And Virat did that to the T. India chasing down with only 4 down. Virat obviously that amazing 100. And yeah, they made light work of the chase at the end of the day, purely because of the foundation that the top order laid. And I think we got to mention someone like Shubman Gill as well. He's playing really good cricket at the moment, and also he had a say in that. He played really well.